Ephesians chapter 2 again. Ephesians chapter 2. You know, all of those men in Dolittle's raid, that was so strictly a volunteer mission. And even before they got on the Hornet, they still could have chose to not go on in that setting. And, you know, it wasn't until they was out to sea that they knew what the mission was. But they did know that it was very important, and they did know that it was volunteer only, and they did know that there was a possibility that it would be a suicide mission, and for many of them, that's exactly what it was. It was a suicide mission. But it was a turning point in the war in the Pacific for us, as well as Japan. Morale in America was at an all-time low. It was at its lowest point in the war when that raid took place. And so one of the reasons for that raid was to build the morale of the American people and get their hearts back into the business of warfare. And one of the other reasons for that raid was to destroy, to devastate the morale of the people in Japan, and to help them to realize that all of their leaders had lied to them, and the fact that they had told them over and over again that there was no way possible that they could be bombed from any other nation on the globe. When that mission took place and Roosevelt gave his speech and they asked him, where did those bombers take off from? He said, from Shangri-La. And it was years before they knew it was off the USS Hornet. That's something. You know, I don't know where that tape happens to be, but if you don't have one, really, we ought to get Scott to dig it out. And you ought to have one. Help you every once in a while. Just go back and listen to all that. You know, God used the Hornet to drive the Canaanites out of Canaan.
Amen. Yeah.
Amen. You saw the things that parallel. God has His way in the whirlwind and the storm. And when those B-25s took off, there was 35-foot swells. And so when Dolittle started off with the first B-25, he watched as that aircraft carrier took its dive. He started down, and he timed it to where when it was on the crest of that 30-foot wave, he was coming off the end, and it was dropping out from under him. And all the pilots behind him followed suit. Some of them guys were afraid that they weren't going to be able to take off in that storm, but God sent that storm to make sure they could get them bombers off that aircraft carrier. Amen. That's, you know, okay, that's, I know I don't do nothing for some of y'all, but it does something for me. God certainly thought much about America back then.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen.